runner-up is Kavindu Malawaraarachchi from Sri Lanka.
Hi, I'm Kavindu and that was me at the WESPA Youth Cup 2023 held in Trang, Thailand. I'm here today to share my experience on the tournament and to share my story on how I managed to become second runner-up in one of the most competitive youth Scrabble tournaments in history. So when I was about 8 years old, my brother introduced me to the game of Scrabble, but at first I wasn't really that much into the game. But after a while I realized that there was a lot more to Scrabble than I thought, and what really inspired me to keep on playing Scrabble would be the fact that I found out that I could actually go abroad and represent my country in many international tournaments, and that many other Sri Lankans have achieved great heights before at international tournaments, and I wanted my name to be in the list of those who had achieved well and brought glory to our country. And I'm glad that I was able to achieve something that many people would have never achieved in the Scrabble career. So it has been about almost a decade by now since I started Scrabble, and the first few years of my Scrabble journey wasn't that lively. I would play a game once in a while with my classmates or my family members, and I didn't really take the game very seriously. But when I was 11 years old, I started to play Scrabble at the Sri Lanka Scrabble League and our school Scrabble club. And then I started to realize that I could do a lot more than what I thought I could from this game. I realized there was a lot more to this game than I really thought, and I realized that it could actually be a huge opportunity to me in terms of my mental health as well as my academic achievements. And since then I've been improving on my word knowledge, my strategical thinking, and all the aspects you need for a good Scrabble competition. And a lot of people has helped me on the way to achieve my success. One of them being my own brother, who is the one who introduced Scrabble to me in the first place. He was there from the start to finish in every tournament. He would guide me, he would analyze my games after tournaments and tell me what I did wrong. And he himself, being a past member of the national youth team, he knew how to beat certain players, he knew good strategies and tips, and he was there for me the entire time, even during the WESPA Youth Cup. The final day when I was competing for the top 3 places, he was there analyzing my games, telling me what I did wrong and everything, and himself and my family members were there during the entire time, so I would like to thank them. And I would also like to thank one of my previous coaches, Abid Ismail, also one of the previous World Youth Champions, and they have coached me a lot and helped me a lot throughout my Scrabble journey, which indeed helped me to achieve the 3rd place at the WESPA Youth Cup 2023. I would also like to make this an opportunity to thank everyone who had helped me on the way, especially my family and my teammates. My family was there the entire time during the tournament, making sure I was properly fed and all that, because I was too focused on the tournaments to take care of my necessities. And my teammates, who were a big support during the tournament, at one point they didn't care whether they lost or not, they just wanted us to win so that we could guarantee a top place in the tournament and guarantee the team championship for our country. And I would like to thank all of them as well. If I were to talk about my most memorable game, I would say it's the game I played with Kavindu, the current WESPA Youth champion, at the WESPA Youth Cup last year. It was the game one before the last, so 23rd round, and he was on the verge of being Gibsonized. He had a 2-win lead against anyone else, and we had 2 more rounds. And had he won that round, he most probably would have been Gibsonized, which I had never heard of being anyone being Gibsonized at a WESPA Youth Cup. And I was his opponent, and I have played him back in our country tournaments, and he had been a really tough opponent, and I've lost many times to him than the number of times I have won against him. However, and the game started, and he started off strong. Even I managed to score a few blows, but after a while he had a gap of about 100 points, and he started scoring more and more, and I was starting to give up, given that he was on the top of his game for the entire tournament, and I was starting to lose my confidence. But out of nowhere, I I drove an excellent track, and I realized that I had a 9 timer for about 180 points, but it was his turn when I realized it, and there was a really good chance that he would block that place, and I was really hoping that he wouldn't block it, because had he have blocked the place, I would have had no place to really score and catch up, and he ended up playing a phony, and I was able to go for the 9 timer. I believe I scored about 180 odd, and that really helped me take control of the game again, and we exchanged a few other blows, but in the end I managed to win against him, which gave me the opportunity to make it to the top 3 and even a slight chance to end up as the champion. However, I ended up losing to the second at the tournament, Adisha Disanayak, and I ended up being third, but that would have been the most memorable game in my Scrabble. Even though a lot of people might say that the tournament itself is the most memorable for them, in terms of my entire Scrabble journey, I would say the most memorable incident would not actually be a tournament. It was something that took place after the tournament. This was after the WYSC in 2018, which was held in Dubai, I believe. And after the tournament, the entire team went to a restaurant and we ordered food and all that stuff. And for some reason, it was so nostalgic for me that I cherished that memory more than anything else from the other tournaments, and that actually was something that kept me driving and made me want to get into the national team in the upcoming year so that I could relive that memory with my teammates. You may be watching this video as a newcomer for Scrabble or someone who's about to start Scrabble, and my advice for you is, don't give up even though it seems like your effort doesn't pay off. It takes time, but even though you feel like you don't get any results for all the effort you put, you will get results. You just gotta be consistent. It might be a tedious task to study words, play games, but that's how it is, and believe me, it's gonna pay off. And of course, don't forget to enjoy your games and the time you spend with your fellow Scrabble players, because one day it's not the games that you won that's gonna matter, but the memories you created while playing those tournaments. I'm pleased to announce that the World Youth Scrabble Championship, previously known as the WESPA Youth Cup, and the Sri Lankan International Open Scrabble Championship will be held in Sri Lanka in the month of September, and it will be an amazing experience for everyone. I myself wish I could take part in the World Youth Scrabble Championship, but unfortunately I'll be overage. But I warmly invite all the Scrabble enthusiasts around the world to take part in the WYSC and the SLIO. Thank you.